And this is my next bicycle project. This is a Trek 3700. It's a 21 speed paddle shift. It's got a front shock on it. It's just been very neglected, but it's a very nice bike. It just needs to be cleaned up, and I've got new grips to put on here. These grips are just totally worn on here, need to be replaced. Not sure what this was. This might be a cell phone holder. We're going to remove that. Certainly a nice bike when it was new. Let me show you about this bike. It's got the paddle shift on here, 7 gears in the back, which everything is working. I rode this and all the gears are shifting except for the top gear. That's a little tough to get on that. But I think we're going to lube everything before we try to make any changes. 3 gears on the crank. And Trek, of course, 3700. And they make very nice components on here. They got the Shimano rear derailleur and Shimano front derailleur for the crank. These are Bontager 2.0 26 by 2.0 tires, and these are in really great condition on here. This bike really hasn't been ridden that much. Front shock got some rust on here we'll have to clear up. It's like an SR Sun Tour. And these are rim brakes on here. Front tire looks nice as well. It's got a lot of potential. It just does not look very good. Seat is in very good condition on here. Rear wheel looks very true. Nothing's is actually stuck on here. This chain looks good, just needs to be lubed. First thing we're going to do is just go ahead and wash this. It won't make any difference to get more water on here. I don't generally like putting water on a bike. I've got new grips. We're going to replace the grips on here and see if we can make this bike usable again. And we're going to cut these old grips off here. This one's already coming off, and I have new grips. These are 5-inch grips, and this will really dress this Trek up nicely. And I just used a razor and cut this, and it will come right off now. Handlebar looks just like new on this side. Let's put this new grip on. And I take a small drop dishwashing liquid, put it on the inside of these grips. After you clean these off on both sides here, and that'll make these slide on really easy, and it will dry. Also used rubbing alcohol, and I found that dishwashing liquid actually works better to slide these on. And there we go. And this will dry hard here shortly after it sits in the sun. Now let's do the other side. And this Trek 3700 now looks really good again. Certainly better than that Specialized that I got recently. Put new grips on here. These grips right here are really in bad shape and get very sticky. It's time to replace them then. And got rid of whatever this bracket was on here. Try to get rid of some of this rust on here. Couldn't get rid of all of it. Put some wax on the frame and put some shine on the tires. Looks really good. As good as it's going to be. Now we're just going to lube everything. I'm going to saturate this chain with some WD-40. Let it sit there for a while, then wipe it off. And then we'll put some wax lube on here. And then we'll give this bike a ride and see if it now shifts like it should. And doing this is really messy, so cardboard comes in handy. It's going to saturate this chain and all the components. Makes a world of difference in shifting that and the tire pressure. And we'll let this sit. I think it's shifting really good now. And the crank as well. And this is dried off now, so we're going to put some wax lube on here. And wipe that off. And here's that Trek 3700 now, all cleaned up. What a difference. And what a difference in the ride. Just putting the correct air pressure in the tires and lubing the chain and all the components. Everything shifts just like a new one on this. Just a neglected bicycle. And now it looks really good. I'll show you a little bit more about it. This is a paddle shift. 7 gears on the back, which all these shift from lower gear to the upper gear. Real smooth now since lubing this. And 3 gears on the crank. And it wasn't shifting properly to the 3rd gear, and now it is. So if you get a used bicycle and it's not shifting correctly, make sure you lube everything before you try any adjustments. This has a front shock on it. Still got a little rust. Just never could get that off. But this is a Suntour, SR Suntour M2025. These Bontager tires are just great on here. Connection trail. Clean those up. Put some wheel shine on here. Put these up to 50 psi. And of course put new grips on here. That makes a world of difference in appearance. It's just a really nice bicycle. Trek makes very nice components. Put Shimano components on here. I've got the red and white Trek 3700 I showed on here. Alpha aluminum frame. It'll never look like new again, but it certainly looks a whole lot better than it did when I first got it. It almost looked like a parts bicycle, but after looking at it and riding it the first time, this is ready to go again. Give you a ride around the little park here in the neighborhood. Rides very smooth. Trek 3700. And here we go. 3700 today.